Hello, listeners. International Trade Resources podcast is back with you today. And I'm super excited because I'm on video with an old friend of mine who I haven't seen face to face in a long time. And I'm thrilled to have him here as a guest on our podcast. Dr. Uny Cao is a technologist. He's based in Hangzhou, China right now. He's executive vice president of Zhejiang Intellectual Property Exchange Center. This is a government Zhejiang University founded program where they work in the space of university technology transfer. He calls himself buy local, which I love as a phrase. He splits his time between the US and China. His early years, kindergarten through college were all in Hangzhou, and then he was in the United States for about 15 years. He's had a career focus in IT, has had the position of CTO, and really forged a career in the innovation of technology transfer. So that and intellectual property and was one of the main things we want to talk about today. So thank you for being here, Uny. So what we've talked about in different environments, how the labor capabilities may be different, how there may be grants and government funding or, you know, space for you to house your startup that could be an opportunity. Let's go to the investment side of things. Angel investors, everybody's, wants to IPO eventually, which I sometimes think is a fool's errand. But the angel investors or VCs or IPOs, let's just spend a few minutes because I think we're getting near the end of our time here. But a few minutes on how companies can do that across borders very, successfully or where they've had problems.
Yeah, this reminds me of a particular German company I'm aware of. They have a branch in China, not far from Hangzhou. And back in 2020, they list on as a goal, they want the Chinese subsidy, they want to go public in China, especially on this Shanghai Stock Exchange store market. And their market was especially set up for what in Chinese way called hard science and technology companies. So you do high tech, and hopefully the more focused, the better. So, and that border has been around for only 4 years, and it has seen lots of very successful, very high tech chip design kind of companies, biotech companies. So for a technology, especially it has some development, some revenue already, to go public in China, especially if they got a chance to combine themselves with local opportunities and teams, that's a possibility. So I just want to get a chance to get this message across. And also, VCs in China are very sophisticated already, and by lots of measures I mentioned, probably is on rival with the Silicon Valley already. Now, there are lots of VCs very focused on things. For a small example, short videos is a very strong suit in China. Well, TikTok is an example, right? So that supply chain itself just has all kinds of layers and layers of nuances and applications and possible technologies, all these kind of things. So there are VCs focused on, if you have technology that's good for this short video industry, in China called it streaming, well, in the US called it streaming, in China called it direct broadcasting, then this technology is welcome. Sometimes a little AR, sometimes a little VR, sometimes some AI. And if some team has figured out a good product, they probably can come to China. And also there are other examples, especially earlier, about a year ago, about 1 year ago, NFT was all the rage. Now, the Web3 stuff, of course, back then.
Yeah.
And they're very successful teams. That particular one is international. They are based in Australia. They have talent here in Hangzhou. They got invested by all kinds of VCs, including Chinese VCs. And it was such a boom. It's called Step M. Somehow, if you do exercise with their shoes, you get NFTs. And it was all the rage for a while. It was successful. So as you mentioned, Kim, it does look like different capital, different investment. It's going to be hyper localized, as you were mentioned, and in different countries, it takes an effort to really understand, to connect with what you're passionate with. And finally, I want to point out, eventually, if for a team to land in another country, probably some intermediary is needed, who are those intermediary people, those middlemen. They are familiar with the local nuances, and they know where the money is and how to apply for it. So this kind of help probably is the best used.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice as I wrap it up here. Yeah, definitely. Some of the meetings I had in Europe were with companies and organizations that work with inbound, investors that are looking for capital, looking for, to make an investment, establish a company. So you just as you know in your own home market, wherever your home market is, you know that how how the rules are written one way, but the implementation can sometimes be a little different.
Right.
And we've all lived through that if we've owned companies or started up companies. So you've got to assume the same thing is true in the other country. So having advisors or partners who can help you with that is really critical. And as someone very wise once said, I'd rather have 50% of something than 100% of nothing,
Yep.
right? So taking on a partner, and maybe they're only a 10% partner, but taking on a partner or paying fees to someone to help you, at least you get it done rather than
Right.
just, struggling trying to do it for yourself. So thank you very much, Uni. We're going to wrap this up now. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Very happy.
All right, listeners, thanks for listening to this episode. We hope you learned some great tips and look out for the next episode coming up. And hope you guys all have a great week. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you join us the next time.